Hello, I'm Yesmine, and welcome to Mental Health Convos, where we educate, empower, elevate, and embrace. Today, I'll talk about how November is National Career Month, and I'll give you some tips so you can figure it out. What it is that you need to be doing, okay? So let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So in this video, I will definitely give you some tips to help you figure it out what it is that you need to be doing, help you find out what it is if you happen to be stuck. I know we all want to be successful, we all want to be paid, we all want to be living the life that we dream of, right? Some of us want to go to college, some of us do not want to go to college. It doesn't matter. I got it all here for you, okay? So let's talk about it. Now, I am I'll be 30 in December. And I have had a lot of jobs. I've had a lot of experiences. And ever since I was a little girl, about 15 years old, I knew that I wanted to help people. The first thing that kind of inspired me to get into the whole human services and social work field is that when I was about 15 years old, there was a group home for children that did not live with their parents. Of course, they were in the state's care, DFACS, Division of Family and Children Services, because at some point the child was abused or neglected. So that was one of the things that kind of put me in the mindset of, oh, wow, there's children out here who get taken away from their parents and they have to go live with other kids, and some adults are hired to watch them. That was interesting to me. However, that wasn't the plan that my parents had for me. So, at that time, I was 15 before learning about group homes and stuff like that. Just being a little kid, I wanted to be a teacher. Um, Fast forward, uh, my mom, well, I have, I have my mom, my dad, stepdad, stepmom. I have different, sets of parents or whatever. So, my mom, she wanted me to be a lawyer. So, by the time I got in high school, um, I was preparing to become a lawyer and kept my grades up. I got a Hope Scholarship. I went to undergrad absolutely free. And then I started preparing to take the LSAT, the law school admissions test. And I did not do well. I never was necessarily a good test taker. I do have test anxiety. And deep down, I didn't want to be a lawyer. My mom wanted me to be a lawyer because she knew that one, lawyers make a lot of money, and two, I was going to go to college. Oh, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that was that. So I just gave y'all a little background information to let you know what this whole video is about, because at different times in our lives, we do say, hey, I want to be this. And then once we learn more information, we say, hey, what, I want to be this. And then sometimes our parents, they can try to influence what they want us to be when that may not be what in reality we want to be. So I just wanted to throw that out there to get the conversation going. And just for you, stop, think for a minute. Are you, if you are already, in your career or in college, are you working towards the dream of becoming what you want to be, or are you working towards the dream of becoming what your parents want you to be? I noticed this thing here. I have a friend that's a teacher. His mom's a teacher, his dad's a teacher, and he's a teacher. And he has a sister, and she's becoming a teacher. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they just have a love of teaching or if they're just trying to follow in their parents' footsteps. I don't know, but hey, that's something to ponder about, right? Now, just in my own personal experience, I will say that whatever you think you may want to be, do your research on it. Okay, watch YouTube videos about it. If you have the opportunity, volunteer. I started volunteering ever since I was about yeah, in high school, 15, 16, somewhere in there. I volunteered. I think it was Salvation Army or Goodwill. I can't remember, but we had one here where I live. Growing up as a child, since gone out of business. But I knew that I wanted to help people, and I knew just starting out somewhere would give me that edge to say, okay, is this what I really want to do? Let me learn more about it. So those are some things. One, do your research, and not just do your research on the position, but the education, what it requires. Are there any advancements? What the income is like? All right, so that's definitely something that you should do your research on, the income, because personally, I I want a Birkin bag lifestyle. You know, we keep hearing about these Birkin bags. I want a Birkin bag lifestyle, okay? I cannot do that on a human services salary. I cannot. But you can be creative in your approach to whatever it is that you want or whatever your career choice is. For example, some people, I know Indeed.com is a job a job posting website. So I look on Indeed.com and I see therapist position 30,000, 40,000, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, I have a master's degree, I have a bachelor's degree, and now I'm working on a PhD. And I think to myself, and I say $30,000, $40,000. Yeah, I should have did more research about this field that I entered, because I can't have a Birkin bag lifestyle on 30, 40 grand. So that's why you have to do your research on the salary. Is this job or this career going to give you the lifestyle that you want? Because ultimately, it may not. Some people say, well, teachers can't afford this on that salary, or teachers can't afford that. And I have some friends that are police officers. I love them. I love, especially black men in uniform that aim to inspire youth and to protect and serve. So, with that being said, I have officer friends that's getting $30,000, $40,000, and they uh, dang near put their life on the line daily. So I said all of that to say that some people enjoy, being officers and protecting and ensuring the safety of, citizens and people in the community and things like that. However, some people say, hell no, I'm not about to be a police officer and I'm only making $30,000. It just varies, okay? People have different reasons for whatever they do. Another thing, when I say be creative about your income, you have to be creative. Or take things into your own hands. So what I said is, you may see a job posting for what a therapist, and the therapist position says $30,000, $40,000. Well, if you're independently licensed, you can create your own counseling um counseling center, agency, whatever you want to call it, right? And then, so instead of being the person that's only getting what, $15 an hour per session, or $30 an hour per session, whatever it may be, if you charge $150 per session, boom, you charging $150 per session. You do two clients in a day, that's $300 in one day. So do you all see what I'm saying? If you decide to take matters into your own hands and build your own clientele, build your own client base, create your own counseling company, counseling agency, then that $30,000, $40,000 can be what you make in 1 month, possibly. I'm in this group on Facebook. Well, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I was in this group, and this lady, she was saying that she is a six-figure therapist, and she was explaining how she gets six figures, and that, like I said, I'm not going to be happy. I love the work I do. I love helping people. I love caring for children. I love caring for families. I am working on my own agency, because $30,000, $40,000, I'm not. That's not going to give me the lifestyle I want. And when I say Birkin bag, y'all, I wasn't meaning that I would just pay $30,000 for a purse. Oh no, I'm cheap. Like I said, I know what it's like to not have, and things like that. And like I said, I work with different populations. So wouldn't it be crazy? I have a $40,000 bag, and I'm up here helping people apply for housing assistance because they can't afford to live in their homes, or I am this and that, whatever. But what I'm saying is, I just couldn't buy a $30,000 purse or whatever, and be working with disadvantaged clients. That would just, I don't know. I mean, for morally wrong to me, I don't know, but I would not be able to just have a purse like that. But I want to be able to say, hey, if I want this $30,000 purse, I can buy this 30,000 purse. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, let's just do a recap. So number one, like I said, make sure you do your research. Do your research on the position. If you know people that are already doing the job that you want to do, or already in that career field that you want, interview them. Ask them. So hey, can you tell me a little bit about this or that? Can you tell me a little bit about this or that? At first, at some point, I was thinking about becoming a teacher, and I have a few teacher friends, so I would ask them, how are things, what's, because we could just look at it and say, oh, she's a teacher, but we don't until I would say it like this. A lot of times in different jobs, we're on the outside looking in. So sometimes we might say, oh, well, they're teaching. I mean, what can be hard about teaching? Things can be much more challenging than they are presented. I will say that because sometimes with teaching, you may deal with all these teacher parent conferences, and sometimes parents don't want to hear that their child isn't doing well, and they don't help their children outside of school. They don't um, help their children outside of school. They Everything is your fault as the teacher. Their children's not performing well. Oh, it's the teacher's fault. But children need that extra source of support outside of school, and sometimes these children have behaviors that disrupt the classroom, and the teachers are trying to teach them and help them, but if they're disruptive, a lot of times they say, well, hey, go to the principal's office, you'll be suspended. So it's a lot of different things that may go on. So I will say, do your research. If you know somebody that's in that field, ask them, interview them, ask them about it. So give me your honest opinion, give me your honest review, and don't just talk to one person, talk to multiple people so you can get, different ideas and feedback about the particular position. Number two, education. See if you want to stay in school, or sometimes things don't require school. But for example, if you want to be a lawyer, you have 4 years undergrad, 3 years law school. You have to say, hey, is this something that is feasible for me? Do I want to be in school this long? Is this something that I really want to do? Because law school can be an investment. It's going to take some money. Do you have that kind of money? Are you ready for those student loans? Are there scholarships that can pay for it? Okay, moving on. And then some people say, well, why have a plan B? If you have a plan B, then ultimately you're not planning to do what you need to do. I will never say that. I always have a second plan, because guess what? When we ride along on the highways and we got our cars, don't we have a spare tire? We don't hope that anything go wrong, but if something does, we got that spare, right? Period. So, with that being said, have your plan B. For me, um, I didn't do well with the law school test, and I applied to some schools I didn't get admitted. So, okay, cool. Guess what? Boom. What's next for me? What's the next step? So, with me having a criminal justice degree, the field of criminal justice is very flexible. You can work in law enforcement, courts, corrections, and different jobs may have requirements for a criminal justice degree. For example, you may work in loss prevention at Walmart. You may work in child protective services. You may work for child welfare. They look for people with criminal justice degrees, because they have those investigative skills. Some people take classes on investigations, things like that. So you may not necessarily work in be a police officer or work in the courts or corrections. You may work in different fields that may need that education from you. For example, I worked in insurance. I was a claims adjuster. And then insurance companies, they have fraud investigators, SIU, Special Investigations Unit. So you just have to be mindful of what you can do with your degree. Do some research on your degree. What you may think it's for, it could be used somewhere else. I have some friends that have early childhood education or teaching certificates, and they do social work now. So, your education can be flexible and can be used across other fields. So don't just think you're limited, okay? Um, After that, just always be thinking. Well, I can't say that you should always just be thinking, what can I do next? That's me. I love challenges. I'm always thinking, okay, what's next for me? What's next for me? What's next for me? So do your research, get to know the position, see if that's what you want to do, see if you have the time and money to contribute to it. Another thing, uh, stress level. Stress level. Some people don't think about this. I had a really good job as a claims adjuster. However, it was stressful. I would have headaches all the time. It got to the point I would have very bad migraines to the point that I would throw up. It would My headaches would be so bad, and there would be days where I would cry. I would get in my car and be on my way to work, and I would just cry because I did not want to do that job anymore. I got tired of arguing with customers. I got tired of just hearing negative feedback. Oh, you didn't say this on your call. You didn't say this with the customer. It just started taking a toll on me, and I said, you know what, this isn't for me anymore, and I left. So another thing, scheduling. Some jobs require you to be on call 24/7. Are you able to do that? Me personally, that is something that I have to work on. I have to work on careers that don't require me to be on call, because let's say if you're a therapist, if your client has a crisis, you got to respond, you got to get there, right? For the most part. Well, I can't say every agency is like that because some agencies are different, but let's say you are a therapist and you own your you are the owner of the therapy company. So you don't have somebody else that can go respond to the crisis for you. You have to get there, right? So you have to be flexible. In child welfare positions, you have to be flexible. You got to get there. You know, your child has a disruption at 4 o'clock in the morning. They are looking for that case manager to be there, right? So that's something that I had to reconsider myself. I said I got to work on my availability because Monday through Friday I work, but on the weekend is my time. That's self care for yes, but okay, that's yes and self care time. And I like to go. I take many getaways all the time. So those are just different things to look at. Do you want flexibility in your career? Do you want some jobs require you to work 12-hour days? Do you want to work 12-hour days? Do you want to go in at 8 o'clock in the morning and get off at 8 o'clock at night? I don't like 12-hour shifts. But I'm just saying these are different things that you need to consider when you are looking for your career and trying to figure things out, okay? Another thing, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Y'all know the Leah song. I would sing, but you know, I don't have that talent. But yes, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Now, with that being said, sometimes we try to go to our different programs, like for example, becoming a nurse. Becoming a nurse can be a long process. You know, you got your clinicals and things like that, and sometimes you may not do well. If you fail, don't give up. Keep going, keep going, keep going, okay? And some people may say, well, you didn't go to law school. Baby, ultimately, that's not what I wanted to do deep down. That's what my parents wanted to do, wanted, wanted me to do. So, with that being said, now I'm living my dream ultimately because, and here's another thing about me, I can't sit down. I I always have to be doing something, and I have to have my hands in more than one thing. That's crazy, right? Most of my life, I've always worked two jobs when I could have been resting and getting rested and everything. Most of my life, I've already worked two jobs. Two jobs, sometimes school. When I was in my master's program, I had two jobs, and I was working on my master's. So usually, I'm just used to being a busybody. But now, as I get older, I'm like, you know what? I can't do all that. I don't have the energy for it anymore. But I will say, you know, for first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Ultimately, I know deep down in my heart that my purpose in this world is to help people. Now, I can help people in a lot of different ways. I do have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and I do not want to be a mental health counselor per se. However, sometimes I feel like it calls me back and it's like, yes, man, yes, man. But I don't necessarily want to be a counselor at this time of my life. I did enjoy learning about counseling and learning about mental health. The reason that I have a degree in mental health counseling is because I knew that I wanted to be working in child welfare. And when you work in child welfare, you are going to see a lot of different mental health behaviors. Uh, Mostly, you know, some dealing with abuse, some dealing with trauma, and just different things, dealing with neglect. Some of these kids, they've been in some traumatizing situations. So I wanted to know about mental health so I can most definitely deal with that better and know what I'm getting myself into ultimately. And of course, like I said, y'all, when it comes to that money and the particular position I wanted, a master's degree would give me more money. So that was also another reason why I pursued a master's degree. Another thing, um, why I am pursuing a PhD. I always wanted to, like I said, even as a kid, I wanted to teach, right? So, um, I love working with children, so that's why I'm considering becoming an elementary school teacher and just doing my mental health thing on the side. Like I have my channel. My channel is a way that I reach people and talk about mental health and talk about bettering yourself. I just want to see everyone in this world do well and have a stable mental health. That's it. That's it. Do well for themselves and have a stable mental health. I want to see everyone living their best life, and I really mean that. So, with that being said, I love teaching, I love helping people, and there are many ways to do that. Also, I have self help workbooks. I create workbooks for people to help themselves. Some people can't afford therapy. Some people don't want to go to therapy. Some people don't necessarily need therapy, but they need a plan to get their life together. That's where my workbooks come into place. I have this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel may be a video that pops up on somebody's YouTube screen that says, "Hey, you know what? This is my sign. I need to get in school. I need to start that business. I need to do whatever it is that I need to do to get my life together." Okay? Period. That's it. So, now let's go over a few things. Now, number one, you do not always need to go to college. Right. Some people are going to say, "What? You don't need to go to college?" Right. You don't have to go to college for everything, okay? Some people don't want to go to college. Some people feel like, hey, the way this job market is, I'm not going to college and wasting my money. I mean, whatever your opinion about it may be, that's completely fine. However, you do not have to go to college to be successful. You do not have to go to college to be wealthy. Okay? Because, mind you, like I said, I have a master's degree. And I know high school graduates that make way more money than I do. It's true. It's true. Very true. So, I'm not here to knock college because I do have degrees. However, you don't have to go to college to be successful and to be financially stable. Let me just throw that out there. Secondly, if you do decide to go to college, awesome, great. That's you. Do what you need to do for your life or your profession, okay? And then another thing is don't be scared to go to trade schools. Trade schools are awesome as well. Everybody's not meant to be a teacher. Everybody's not meant to be an engineer. Everybody's not meant to be a rocket scientist or a college professor. We all have our own roles to play in this world and in society, okay? And lastly, if you don't go to school, or some people don't finish school, some people don't finish high school, different strokes for different folks. People have different life experiences, which may cause them not to finish school. And some people are trying to finish school, whatever the case may be. What I'm saying in this video is that being successful, there's no there's no particular roadmap. There's no particular game plan. All you can do is put your best foot forward to build or get the life that you want, okay? Because, like I said, I know some high school graduates that make more money than even some PhD professors. Some high school students make more money than some PhD professors, and I promise you this. So, for example, I know people that are barbers. I know people that are nail techs. I know people that are mortgage loan processors with high school diplomas, and they're making $100,000, $200,000 a year. Yes, true facts. So you do not have to go to college You don't necessarily have to go to trade school. You may not have any education. I know some people that don't have any education, got a business license, making a lot of money. Life is what you make it, okay? So you don't necessarily say, oh, I got to go to college to be successful, because you don't. People are making businesses left and right. Last year, well, not last year, but this year across my Facebook, I saw so many LLCs going across my Facebook page. Everybody was opening business. I saw nail tech, I saw t-shirt companies, I saw print and press companies, I saw decor. I saw so many different things. Okay. So put your best foot forward. Stop making excuses. Get out there and do what you need to do. All right. Now, for those of you that are stuck and you're like, I don't know what it is that I need to be doing. So, going back to me having this clinical mental health counseling degree, I took a class called career counseling. Now, as I stated, I, at this point, am not a counselor, not a therapist, but I feel like sometimes it does call me back, and there's some things about it that I really like, and I may incorporate it in a different way later. However, Holland codes are codes that can help you figure out what it is that you need to be doing. So, John Holland, he was I believe, a psychologist. I haven't looked at it. I just grabbed the RAC, grabbed the Holland codes really quickly. And he developed these codes to help people figure out what it is that they could be doing or what their career choice may be based on their personality. So mine is SEC, social, enterprising, and conventional. In the next few slides here, I'll explain what those mean. S is for social, and that's for the helpers. E is for enterprising, and that's for the persuaders. C is for conventional, that's for the organizers. R is for the realistic people, that's for the doers. I is for investigative, those are the thinkers. A is for artistic, and those are the creators. With the different codes, the Highland Code, it also lists different jobs or different career positions that would go along with your Highland Code. So, for example, in social, there are things listed like teachers, counselors, those type of professions. In artistic, you may be someone that may be an artist or a graphic designer, or in conventional, that may be your data driven type of people. As I said, PhD, researcher, right? So it has the different career choices that align with whatever your code is, and that can also help you kind of pick through them to see what is it that I could be doing? So I thought that was really convenient. I'll list the link below, so if you guys want to take that test and figure out what your code is, or if you already know your code, you can list it below so we can have a conversation about it. But it's really convenient. So I wanted to put in Super's developmental self-concept career model, because this to me is for the people that feel stuck and they're just like, I don't know what in the world I'm supposed to be doing. Well, I would suggest that you just take a look at these and just let that anxiety about what it is that you're supposed to be doing go, because there are different stages in our life according to this theory, which kind of fits us into our careers. Okay, stage one is for us when we're ages 0 to 14, where we learn the developments of self-concept, attitudes, and the needs, and we learn about the general world of work. In stage two, the exploration stage, which is like 15 to 24, we're trying out through classes, work experiences, hobbies. We're still sometimes kind of undecided. And like I said before, that whole class is that whole work experience. Like I said, during that period of time, if you're not sure about something, you can volunteer, test the water, see if that's something that you really want to do. In stage three, establishment, entry level skill building and stabilization through work experience. So typically, I think I finished college when I was like 23. So by age 25, you got that entry level, you get your first uh, big girl or big boy job, and you start working up the ladder. You're in that entry level area, right? And until you start moving up and learning the ropes of everything, and moving on up. Step four, age 45 to 64, continual adjustment process to improve position. So typically, sometimes when people get in their 40s and stuff, they're like management, they're directors, they're VPs, that type of thing. So it's just maintaining from where you were before. After that,
Stage
moving
five is
along.
decline, which is ages like 65 plus. At the decline stage, is reduced output and people are preparing for retirement or, be retired. So, those are just some different life and career development stages that you can review. This is just a lot of good information. So if you're feeling stuck, don't feel stuck. Just look for a way to figure it out. As I introduce to you the Holland Code, I'll list the link in the description so you can take that test and maybe that can help you figure out what it is that you need to be doing. And if you're stuck, just look at the life and career development stages like, hey, life is a stage is growth, exploration, establishment, maintenance, and decline. So we all go through our different stages now. They have specific ages here, but sometimes, me personally, I think that sometimes those ages can overlap in where we are with our career and life choices. But I just wanted to say to you, hey, this is the month to go ahead and just plan for your future. What it is that you want out of your career, what it is that you want for your life, what it is that you want out of life. Because you got to start somewhere. Why not start today? Why not start this month? Right? All right. So if you are new here, please subscribe, hit that like button if this helped you. Please share with your friends if this video helped you. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, abundance, and blessings to you all. Bye.